Right. And we're back. This is Podcast Wednesdays doing another live Google Hangout. We're here with director and producer Stephen Vittoria of the new movie Mumia, a long distance revolutionary that airs, well, it debuts in Philadelphia tomorrow, Friday, May 3rd. Which
That's
will be
right.
today, but this is when you guys want to see this. Tell us a little bit about this documentary and how you became a part of the project.
I was making another documentary about 6 years ago called Murder Incorporated, and I realized early on that I wasn't going to be able to tell the story the way I wanted to tell it in 2 hours. But I was working with Mumia. He had answered 25 questions to 25 pieces I had given them, and it was some of the most brilliant things that Mumia has ever done.
Okay.
And once I decided not to do that film, this film became a reality about 4 years ago. And, you know, we finished 7, 8 months ago. We did the festival circuit. We opened in New York, Los Angeles, and about 10 or 12 other cities across the country. And obviously, Philadelphia has great meaning to Mumia's story. He's a native son of Philadelphia.
Yes.
This is where it all came down on him, and it's really an important evening Friday night to bring his story to the folks of Philadelphia. You know, the narrative of Mumia's life for the last 30 years has been a combination of lies, gibberish, and a whole lot of myth regarding his life. And this film tells a much different narrative, and I think the folks of Philadelphia are going to embrace it like audiences around the country have so far.
Yes. So, so what has the response been like from the audiences as they're leaving the theater, or what feedback have you gotten on the movie so far?
Well, the response has been really strong, and it's been strong not only from a financial standpoint, but also from a passionate standpoint. Let me first talk about the financial standpoint. You know, it's very difficult to get any documentary into a theater. 99% plus of documentaries do not make it on the big screen. We did. We opened in New York City, and when we opened, we were number 3 in the country for independently released documentaries.
Wow.
When we were released in Los Angeles, we were number 1, and when we were released in the Bay Area, in Oakland, we were number 1. So we've been making the numbers, we've been doing the business, which fortunately or unfortunately in the movie business, that's how you stay alive.
Yes.
And then from a passionate standpoint, the audiences have just been, quite frankly, the question and answer sessions after the film they've been like revival meetings in a Baptist church. I mean, they've really been, they've been very vocal. Very passionate, very inspired, and for me as a filmmaker, that's why you make these things. You want people. You don't make documentaries to make money, and this documentary will not make money. But you make it because you're trying to inspire people. You're trying to tell stories that the mainstream media just refuses to tell.
Okay.
I have a question. Now, you met Mumia. How is he as, you know, just, you know, of course, you know, I know he's a human, but how is he, you know, in my eyes, you know, it's more like a, you know, just a beautiful legend. So how is it, you know, just interaction between him, and how, like, what is your thoughts on Mumia?
Yeah, you know,
like, I just meet him one-on-one. Okay.
Before I personally met Mumia, we had spoken on the phone a couple of times, and it was pretty straightforward. You know, you have to remember that you're visiting him under very harsh and draconian tradition, you know, conditions.
Yeah.
At first, it was at SCI Green, which was a maximum security prison in Pennsylvania's Gulag, and it was a real lockdown kind of a joint. Now he's at SCI Mahane, which is on the it's in the eastern part of the state. And it's not quite as heavy duty as the other prison. You know, back at SCI Green, they were non-contact visits. He was in a hermetically sealed plexiglass booth, and you were in a booth. So, but meeting Mumia, I told someone last night, he has the kind of personality that after you meet him for 30 seconds, you feel like you've known him for 30 years. He has an incredibly warm and open sense of humor. He puts you at ease because he sort of realizes that you're the one that might be a little bit under the gun. He's probably gotten somewhat used to the hell that he lives in.
Yeah.
The thing that I have found out most about Mumia, I think we all knew that he was brilliant. We all knew that he was as sharp as can be. But and he'll tell you this himself, he's a little bit of a nerd. He loves comic books.
There's nothing wrong with being a nerd.
Television, and his favorite TV show is The Walking Dead,
Nice.
which is pretty interesting.
It's like it's like looking outside.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I know.
But he's really incredibly warm and compassionate and very genuine person. And when you think about what he's been through, I think many of us would probably be very bitter, very angry, and ready to put our fist through a wall. And he's just the opposite. So he is living proof that we can face those kinds of obstacles and come through the other side with flying colors.
Okay. So typically these types of documentary films go through a screening process at different film festivals. Did this film go through any film festivals, or did it just go straight to the theaters?
Yeah, we did do the festivals. We thought it would be a great festival film. We opened at the Mill Valley Festival in San Francisco. From there, we went to Doc, New York City, Stars Denver Festival, and then my favorite one of all of those, we went to Copenhagen in Denmark, and that was a real blast, and the people really embraced it there.
Nice.
We just started to release the film in Europe, and we're going to be doing hopefully the festivals in Marseille, France, and Karlovy, Czechoslovakia. So it should be Europe should be a real blast, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the people overseas tend
what
to
was some of your
take
reactions from the audience?
I'm sorry, say that again?
No. I said the people that are overseas tend to take to Mumia more so than those in the States that have been jaded by the news media and things they say about him that aren't necessarily true, and the way that they typecast him. And
that's absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, I think that Mumia's impact on political and social discourse has always been a little bit more dramatic in Europe and overseas. Not necessarily. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, not necessarily because of the people, but because of how the media covers Mumia. That's exactly what you were saying. But folks here in the States, once they get to know his story, they realize that they've been fed a pack of lies, and they've been kind of sold down the river as far as the information on Mumia is concerned, and they step right up. But you're absolutely right that the people in France, Mumia is an honorary citizen of Paris, the first person since Pablo Picasso.
Wow.
His face is on a regular first-class stamp in France. There have been streets named after him in both Germany and France and Italy.
Yeah.
And his voice is
irony in Germany.
I have found people in Europe know Mumia more than they know him in the States. But that might be changing with the release of Long Distance Revolutionary, because I think between the numerous articles and the film, and the DVD comes out on June 11th, people are really getting to know him.
Okay.
Now, I have a question for you. Showing the film at different festivals, what was some of the people's reaction or the audience reaction to seeing the film?
The biggest reaction is they're always wondering why the film doesn't cover Mumia's case. And up to this point, every film, video, book, live event that's ever been produced for Mumia has always been about the case. And as a filmmaker, I didn't want to mine the exact same information that's been mined before. The case is very complex. You know, your head will explode off your shoulders once you get into it. It's a really complex case. It's kind of a serpentine walk through it. But what really interested me was Mumia as a writer, as a journalist, as a revolutionary, and what his impact on society, both here and abroad, has been. And audiences really react well to that. You know, I think it's only natural for them to want to have some, you know, some special piece that proves to them that, you know, Mumia is innocent. And
we're back.
What I wanted to, and we're back. What I wanted to ask about briefly, not to dwell on the negativity of the film, but I want to talk a little bit about what happened with Shaq and Camden and that screening that that was supposed to happen that actually didn't take place.
Yeah, it was actually in Newark, New Jersey, which is my hometown. And we booked the film at the Cityplex 12 in Newark about 5 to 6 weeks prior to when we were opening, which is pretty normal. The theater was 150% behind the film. They had opened up their entire marketing apparatus and network to us. We were working with the Newark Museum. We were working with the schools. We were working with the press. They were going to hold a press screening at the theater. And then Shaq and his manager / confidant, who used to be a Newark cop about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm still here. Wait.
Hello?
Hello? I'm still here, Steve. Hello? I think you might need to hit the mic button again.
There we go. How's that?
Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay.
And when Shaq and his manager, who's an ex-Newark cop, showed up for meetings with theater ownership, they decided to pull the plug on the film.
Because Shaq thinks he's a cop.
Distribution company. Any kind of a reason. We've since protested in front of the theater with Amiri Baraka and Larry Hamm and a bunch of Newark activists, and they still haven't moved off the dime.
Yeah, that's and that's really unfortunate because a neighborhood like Newark, who has actual real criminals, could benefit from from the showing of this documentary. And Shaq is not even a real cop, so I don't understand what his why he would try to pull something that could actually benefit his theater. I didn't even know Shaq had a theater in Newark until this happened. And I actually sent Shaq a tweet and I asked him why are you pulling this movie? Is there some type of personal reason that you have against it, or what is it? And the only thing I can think of is that it's because Shaq really thinks he's a cop. Yeah.
He's been wanting to be, remember the old, I don't know, you guys might be too young, the old Andy Griffith show on TV. I think Shaq wants to be Barney Fife really bad. It's really unfortunate because the really unfortunate part, and you hit on it, is that the people of Newark who have been screwed over for decades get screwed over one more time, especially in the African American community, and the city was really going to come out for this film. So that's really the biggest shame. We can get over one theater, but the people that don't see the movie, that's really sort of the tragedy.
Yeah, and those people that can't make that trip down to Philly to see it, or can't afford to travel that far just to see it, they would have had something more convenient right there in their hometown.
Absolutely.
Just because of, and because of Officer Shaq, now they've been deprived of this film.
Yes.
So where are the next few screenings after Philly?
Well, we got Philly, obviously, starting tomorrow night, the 3rd. We're there for a week. If folks can come out the first weekend, that's the most important because that will determine if we get a second week. It's at the landmark Ritz at the Boers, which is at 400 Randstead Street.
Yep, it's right off of 4th and Market for those who don't know.
Exactly. Yep. And we're going to have, I'll be there with my partner Noel Hanrahan, and the two of us are going to be doing questions and answer period after the 6:30 shows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
And then next week we go to Sebastopol, California for a week. That's up just north of San Francisco. Then we open in Portland, and hopefully right after that we're going to hit Chicago and Boston. So,
okay.
And then the film comes out on DVD on June 11th.
Okay. Excellent.
It'll be on
Excellent.
iTunes. It'll be on iTunes and Netflix and all those.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And Netflix needs that.
I have
they
a
just
question.
2,000 movies.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I just saw it this morning.
I have a question before we go.
Blair, you there?
I'm here. I'm back.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. That's my mom. Say hi to my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Hello? Stephen?
Yes.
Hey, what's your odds, Mom? Okay. Well, Stephen, now let's take you out the place of being director and producer of this movie.
Right.
What do you think of this movie, and what is the key message you believe this movie conveys to the audience? If you're just another audience member just sitting there watching this movie,
I think what it does is pretty straightforward. In this country, the people in power have made the unthinkable normal. They've made war normal. They've made no health care for people normal. They've made poverty normal. They've made the 1% can pretty much get away with whatever they want. And the atrocities that they pull off in the name of, liberty and freedom, which is really in the name of capitalism.
Exactly.
They've just made the unthinkable normal. And I think what this film does through Mumia's story is show that there's an alternative, that we do have an alternative to war, and it's called peace. That we do have an alternative to poverty, and that's called feeding people. And we could have health care over no care. So instead of spending trillions of dollars on weaponry and on what Mumia and I call murder incorporated, we should be spending it on the people of this country who more than deserve it. This is a country that's been built on genocide. It was nurtured through slavery, and it continues through perpetual war.
And they still have slavery now in the modern day prison system.
Absolutely.
They just built a children's prison in West Philadelphia. They just built a new youth study center, which is code for a children's prison. It's pretty much.
Yeah, I mean the problem of mass incarceration, which we talk about in the film a lot, and also the entire school to prison pipeline, especially in Black and Latino neighborhoods, is just horrific, and it just continues what the 13th Amendment was supposed to abolish. And but it's really not surprising when we remember that Thomas Jefferson died. He had 600 slaves.
Exactly.
When Madison died. He had 300 slaves.
And they had about 50 children by those slaves.
That's right, and if you remember that Sally Hemings, who was Thomas Jefferson's favorite woman, was 13 and 14 years old. So besides it being rape, since a slave doesn't have any way to say no, she was 13 or 14 years old, which makes it pedophilia as well. But he's the founding father of the country. So and R. Kelly's still making hit albums, so it just doesn't stop. It seems like certain things that, just like you said, they become a societal norm, and we're supposed to just think that's normal and it's okay. It's not okay. It's not normal, and
and films like this bring these type of things to the light. Hopefully, people will. It's a sad but true phrase that people will and can only do to you what you allow. So if we continue to allow them to make these laws and keep the school to prison pipeline and have this prison industrial complex to continue slavery into the next generation, then it'll be another 20 years, and then in 50 years there'll be another Mumia, and this will just continue.
Yeah, it really has to stop, and it's got to stop soon. And with this film, we're trying to do our part. One film is not going to change the world, but one film and 5 more films and books and people getting out in the street. You notice in Europe, if something's wrong, people in Europe, they hit the streets and they make a difference. In the United States, it just doesn't happen, and it's really unfortunate.
I agree. Well, yes, we most definitely thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to just talk to us about the film a little bit. Can you give the people just some information where us about the film?
Sure.
The website, the Twitter, if there's an email address if they want to contact.
Absolutely. As you guys know, tomorrow night, May 3rd, the Ritz at the Bourse in Philadelphia, we open. I hope you guys come out and say hello.
Yes, buy your tickets. Buy your tickets. I actually bought my tickets as soon as they went on sale.
Super.
I bought my tickets 2 months ago, and I've actually been offered comp tickets. So now we'll be giving away 2 tickets at the conclusion of this interview, which is on Friday. When you when you see this on Friday, not right now. But
Great.
but when you see
if
this
you want
tomorrow,
if you want to find out more about the film, go to mumia-themovie.com. Mumia-themovie.com. We're on Facebook at Long Distance Revolutionary, and we're on Twitter at LDR Movie. LDR Movie. So you can get to us, and on YouTube, Mumia the Movie. We've got a great YouTube page with about 30 or 40 videos up there, a lot of conversations between Mumia and myself, and there's a lot of good things there. So come on out, Philadelphia. We need you, and
yes, we need you. We need you.
Mumia needs you.
Yes. Oh, just briefly, you spoke about this last week at the rally. What was the original title for the Mumia movie that you cut it down to?
Yeah, it was
Long Distance Revolutionary.
It was Long Distance Revolutionary: A Journey with Mumia Abu Jamal, and the distribution company just wanted to get Mumia's name out there first, so it's Mumia : Long Distance Revolutionary.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, you heard it here first from directly from the source. We thank you again. Thank you. And we'll be giving away those 2 tickets, but just because it's free, it does not mean don't buy tickets. Spread the word to your families, friends, your children, your moms, grandma. Everybody needs to see this film and support these type of films, or they won't be allowed to bring them back to us again.
And I put it like this: it's anytime. It's knowledge. Let's spread knowledge, guys.
Yes, and please send our love and peace to Mumia from us here at Podcast Wednesdays. I'm Rashad.
Yeah, man. Please. I'm Eric Blair.
All right, Eric. We will. And if you guys get a chance, you can write to Mumia. If you go to prisonradio.org, his address is there, prisonradio.org, and he reads pretty much everything. So he loves to hear from people, especially Philly people.
I most certainly will write to him again. Sure.
Certainly will.
All right, guys. Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you. Thank you.